Morrowind is a game that I'm totally in love with the idea of, but haven't really gotten past the first couple dates with. It's not because I wasn't having any fun, but other commitments come up in life and the attention is lost. It's such a lush world that I can get intimidated by jumping back into it. Now, why I always want to start over with it. In Morrowind, when you wake up on that ship with that gravelly voiced fellow slave who you never see again, finding out you are or were a slave, the creaking of the boat, creating your character from the very first moment, giving it the name, you're in this dark underbelly of the ship, but you emerge to this glorious daylight and unbelievable at the time, though I still enjoy them, water graphics. You talk to a guard, you realize you're scum, but for some reason you're getting off the ship. It's created this element of there's the mystery of who you are, why you're here, what you're doing, but the adversity that you're not an all-powerful person, you're not the Dragonborn, you're not the chosen one, you're just somebody with some kind of story we're going to find out. You start creating your character from these choices that feel so vast and varied, all the different races, the skills, the perks, and knowing that this is a Bethesda RPG, which means you're going to have a lot of different ways to break that system and level up in a way that's going to be very, very satisfying. Although I never really get that far, but I hear and see that it's quite satisfying. Morrowind's leveling I really enjoy, because you start off as this sort of scrappy, newly freed slave in a hostile land, and every level you gain skill and spell that you master is another giant step in your ability to deal with those bloody cliff racers that once had you running for your life as you ran between towns, checking signs and following directions along the way. And now you can come back with a new skill and you can set them on fire! Exploration is very dangerous when you are so weak. As you first leave that ship in the opening town, you're just a little baby bird navigating through an area of deadly predators and mysteries. The opening instructions to find Caius. It's great. We go to this new town following directions. We see that it has different architecture. The big towering silt striders. This is an exotic place and it keeps getting more exotic. Maybe you stumble into that first pub before you find your guy. Now, he's not your typical, flat, heroic NPC quest giver. He's an older guy. He's balding, but he's got this killer body. He lives in a tiny little bachelor pad, apparently has a drug problem, but he's also a grand spy master. He's a wonderful, swirling mix of life's twisting paths. He's a foreshadowing of the wildly different things you're going to do in your Morrowind journey, and I hope you do because I haven't done them yet. He gives you your next objective, but he also tells you ways to increase your experience and stature with the guilds. There's this whole world swirling around. This guy's a spy master. You could be a blade master, a thief master. The guilds are interacting with each other. There's different trees that you can go along, there's branching paths. You're actually causing an influence in this world, and boy, it really makes me want to hop in and try it one more time and make these things actually happen. This is what I find so magical and why I want to keep going into that world, not to mention the incredible music. Now, going from this to Skyrim was quite jarring, although Skyrim's opening is not the problem. It's quite magical. The way it fades in on your cart, similar to opening up on Morrowind on the boat. A cart that's leading to your planned execution, similar to you being a lowly slavery, now you're a lowly criminal. But it's being interrupted by a frigging dragon. That's a genius design, and it calls back to the slave roots of Morrowind, but ups the ante with this modern cinematic excitement we hadn't really seen before. But once I left that area to explore, I remember coming across 3 bandits in the woods, and uh-oh, I thought, these guys look a lot more dangerous than cliff racers. Oh, I killed them all. That was pretty easy. I didn't really use any plucky resourcefulness. I didn't learn a lesson of the dangers of the world, like I would later in Skyrim when you're walking down the path and a friggin' bear attacks you, or a moose, or some giant monster. It seems like the creatures are a lot more dangerous than the people in this game. But in Skyrim, everyone's always telling you to hustle to and from. You gotta be as quick as you can, but I feel like all the NPCs in Skyrim have never actually played an Elder Scrolls game, because it's always been about the meandering journey rather than the destination. Although I haven't beaten either Morrowind or Skyrim, I'm still stuck falling in love again and again with the opening hours of Morrowind. And in Skyrim, I'm stuck in a dangerous cave, a fight with some evil ice mage that actually requires me to be plucky and resourceful to overcome, but I haven't figured it out yet. Well, what it isn't, man. It's Skyrim too easy or too hard. What do you want to fight? I don't know. I just want to play. A new entry in my falling in love with the feel but not continuing on for no fault of the game, but definitely me, is Hyperlight Drifter. Again, another masterful soundtrack. Disaster Piece, his work on this game and Fez and other stuff should definitely be in a video game museum for music or just any museum at all. Alongside the hauntingly gorgeous pixel art, the challenging Twitch gameplay, this mysterious land of dark and light to explore in a way that feels completely alien and foreign. Yeah, those are the same, but I felt like using both. The opening hour of Hyperlight really sparks my imagination, makes me yearn for more games that create this level of unique immersion. What world is this? What am I doing? What's happening here? I just want to be in it. I just want to put the game on, hang out in the world for a few minutes on my Switch while I'm, watching a terrible show that my girlfriend chose. Now, why haven't I continued on Hyperlight? It's definitely my fault. I stream almost all of my gameplay, so there's less attention to a game while streaming that would require focused exploration and map use while I'm looking at the chat or, yeah, sure, Matt, blame the chat. It's not you. It's not your brain. Hyperlight requires full attention, requires me to learn that map and play only Hyperlight and not worry about streaming and not worry about any other games, not worry about anything else in life where you got to learn that game. You got to devour it. And I really want that. And I'm hoping it's going to happen. It will happen. Just like I'll beat Morrowind. Maybe sooner. I think.